Signori, ho solo una piccola domanda, riguarda il mio programma delle
Only one
corse.
small question concerns my race program.
Se io voglio correre alle Mans e voi non volete che io corra alle Mans, io ci vado o non ci vado?
If I wish to race Le Mans, and you do not wish for me to race Le Mans, do we or do we not go?
You do not go.
Che i suoi arroganti dirigenti sono solo una massa di figli di puttana da 4 soldi.
Tell your pig-headed boss that all his smug executives are worthless sons of whores.
Tell him he's not Henry Ford. He's Henry Ford II.
Enzo Ferrari was all about racing. The main sticking point you see in the movie about Ford versus Ferrari, Enzo did not want to relinquish his hold on the Ferrari racing team. What I had always understood from people who were in the know, Henry Ford II was actually in the room when Enzo had his little hissy fit and told him to basically bugger off. Henry Ford II had actually gone there to pencil the deal because it was Ford moving into a world they'd never been in before. To receive that insult was what really, and if it was certainly received personally, that would put a bit of a different light. So I think there was a lot of ego there because they were both egotistical maniacs.
This isn't the first time Ford Motors has gone to war in Europe. Go ahead, Carol. Go to war.
You had the Ford debacle, you had Lamborghini. One that people really don't know about is at a certain point, Enzo's wife was, she was very autocratic and everything. She was very rude and cruel and demanding of staff, and in places that she really had no business. And one of the things that she did was she completely offended the entire design and engineering teams to the point where most of them quit en masse. And they went off and started 2 other companies, Grifo and Bizzarini. Grifos and Bizzarinis are absolutely spectacularly beautiful cars, incredibly efficient. Again, probably better cars than the Ferraris of the same period. Didn't have the reach, they didn't last as long, but they were built in protest to the way these guys have been treated. And they certainly showed a potential that could have been realized by Ferrari, because once these guys were given their head, they created these magnificent cars. So, there was that creation. And the most recent creation, basically, is James Glickenhaus, was a very successful Hollywood director. And I think he did some writing and everything. And then his father was an incredibly successful Wall Street guy, and when his father passed on, Jim inherited the business and moved from Hollywood to Wall Street and was as successful or more successful, building that company even bigger. So he became comfortable with collecting Ferraris, and he had a magnificent collection. He bought a brand new Enzo Ferrari, and he took it to Pininfarina, who had been designing most Ferraris since the Second World War. And he had them rebody the car as an homage to a racing Ferrari. And when the people at Ferrari got wind of it, the president of Ferrari had a hissy fit. So what happened was he came, and I can't recall the president's name, but he came in and just yelled and screamed, read them the riot act. How dare they insult Ferrari and Enzo's great name, and blah 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 blah. That started another car. Because Jim went, he created his own exotic car, and it is more car than a Ferrari. And he started it with the intention of kicking Ferrari's ass off Nürburgring, of putting in better lap times than Ferrari was doing. And I was actually invited to go there and sit in the pits while they were doing that, and with a film crew. And the broadcaster we were working for, which was an automotive broadcaster, said, "Oh, we don't do racing." And you're going, "Oh my God, this is a David and Goliath story. This has nothing to do with racing." So they wouldn't do it. So it was a bloody shame, because it missed an amazing story, because not only would you have had this guy up against a giant, but you'd have seen him winning. So this shows that Ferrari doesn't just spawn competition because they're great cars. They spawn competition because they're pretty hard to get along with. You know?
Would you sum up Enzo Ferrari as an asshole?
You know, I think he was, I mean, everybody is multi-lettered. I mean, was he autocratic? Yes. Did he treat other people like he was an asshole? Certainly.